Hello, I am Dave James. How are you doing today? Today I want to talk with you about franchise, how you finance it, whether you have a new startup concept or you want to work on an existing franchise. So there are about 5 things I want to emphasize that you must do when you establish a franchise. So point number 1, it's important for you to have a great knowledge of the business that you're going to be doing as a franchise. It has to be something that you can sleep and talk about with the knowledge. How do you gain the knowledge? There are different ways. 1, you can read about McDonald's franchise, for example. If that's a franchise you want to go into, read about it. Go and talk to users of the business, the franchise. Talk to customers. Why do you buy a franchise? Why would you buy a product from McDonald's versus from Subway? So you need to talk about these things with prospective individuals so you get a feel of what the franchise is all about. And your knowledge is not only the feel, but what it takes to actually do the work. You need to know from the kitchen staff what it takes to do the work in a McDonald's or a Subway franchise. So the key thing is knowledge. You have to have general knowledge before you actually get into the franchise of that restaurant. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, you will need to have a strong love for the business. You know, it's a love like you are in a relationship. So if you're in a relationship, you're going to think about 5, 10, 20, 30 years in a relationship. So you have to massage the relationship so people can feel your love. Love is a key factor. And when you love it, you will want to be in the restaurant or in the franchise every day because it's just like you have a partner, who you live with. And so love is of what you're going to do in a franchise is one of the key factors. That's point number 2. Point number 3, the staff that you pick to run your restaurant, they also have to be multitaskers. They can't just be people coming in to do cashiering, for example. The cashier should be able to cook in the kitchen. The cashier should be able to manage the bookkeeping, run your accounting system. The cashier should be able to lock up the restaurant at night. They should have that ability. And so when they have that ability, it not only helps them to stabilize your business, but they feel as if they're a part owner. So having the right staff who can multitask, and there are many restaurants, one of the biggest challenge is you have a cook who knows the recipes and only him know it or her know it. But what if that cook decided that, I'm not coming to work today? Think about how much money you lose if you as the owner or someone else cannot jump in and implement all the recipes. So it's good for you to know the business and in terms of cooking, and also have people who can multitask with you in that restaurant. So the next point that is important if you are going to be running a franchise restaurant or you're actually going to start a franchise restaurant is you must have the right financing sources. Money is what makes the mayor go around. Think about it. The mayor goes around. Money makes everything happen. So what are the sources out there? We have unsecured financing sources and we also have secured financing sources. So what's the difference? The unsecured financing is basically, do you have an existing business where you're making say $200,000 a year or $1 million a year? So if you're making $1 million a year, let's say per month you're doing $300,000. So let's put it to 3.5 million a year. You're making 3.5 million a year from your existing business. We can get you 32% of that $3 million that you're making per year from the existing business. So automatically we can qualify you to get a line of credit, a revolving line of credit for about 1.3 million. And we can close a business within 4 to 10 business days. So it's not a long thing, but it's like we're giving you a credit card to run the business. And the good thing about that kind of revolving line of credit, you only use the amount of money you need. So you're approved for $1.3 million, you may only need, say, $700,000 to get your franchise up and running. But you have $500,000 that you don't use. So the good thing, you only pay interest on what you use. And if you pay back that franchise, just like you pay a credit card, you have that money to use again. That's a great way about one of the greatest ways to fund a franchise. Use revolving line of credit. And we don't need any collateral. You don't need to put up your house, nor your wife, nor your dog. You're just going to put up the business that you have, the money that is coming in from those business as the collateral. That's it. No collateral. Now the only downside to that factor is the interest rate is a little bit higher than if you were to use a collateralized kind of financing. So what is a collateral financing? So you go to the Small Business Administration. They can give you money from the Small Business Administration, and the Small Business Administration, they're going to need collateral. They may take a second mortgage on your house, or they may take a first mortgage, or they may take all your equipment and all your furniture as collateral. They may take your 401k as your collateral. So it is secured financing. But the good thing about the SBA funding is you can borrow up to 30 years, and your interest rate is normally between 4 to 8%. If your credit score is within their ambit. Normally they require that you have a credit score of 650 or above, whereas the unsecured line of credit, if you have a 560 credit, you can borrow. So if you're borrowing for the unsecured and your credit score is only 560, you can get the money. With the secured financing, your credit score has to be over 650 before you get the money. So that's the difference between secured and unsecured. Where do I get the money from? So we can help you and guide you with that. Now, I've spoke about 5 points. There are some more things to talk about. So we want to, you can follow on my channel. Give me a contact if you have any questions, any further questions, and I can give you some tips on how to get your franchise up and running. Listen to me. This is good stuff for you. Let's talk about this some more. Reach out to me, make your comments, and let's talk about this. Have a wonderful day.